Bill, you sexy devil, you've done it again. Oh, yeah, now it's time for me to have dinner with the master and commander of Kyrgyzstan. Shit, not that 16-year-old again.
23.
Didn't think you'd come back. He could sue me for stock fraud. I could lose all my money. I can't let this happen again. I did my time shopping at the Dollar Tree. I can't go back. I've got an idea. Sorry, sir. I don't have time to learn about our Lord and Savior today.
So I was thinking that we could invest this time into something that trees need, like water or clouds.
I can't help you invest again. I'm one and done with clients. Plus, do you know how hard it is to invest in BitCloud? You farm that shit for years, only to get a small piece of the pie.
Aren't you a broker? I thought they could work with the same person multiple times.
I'm an otolaryngologist. That means I can't work with the same person twice.
I don't think that's what that means.
Listen, I have a dinner to go to. Are we done?
So if you don't help me, does that mean I can sue you?
So, what are we thinking about investing in this time?
Well, since you're helping me out of the goodness of your heart, I figured we could talk about something completely different from paper and trees. See, I've been playing this game recently, and it's given me a lot of inspiration.
Super Paper Mario. That's one of my favorite games that I played years ago that I don't remember.
It changed its entire mechanics and aesthetics, and it totally didn't work. So that means it's foolproof for us.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I can safely say this is not where I expected the Paper Mario franchise to go after the 1,000-Year Door. This game changes up so much of what its predecessors had going on, but I remember having very fond memories of it despite that. When I was young, I watched a lot of people play through the 1,000-Year Door in Paper Mario 64, and the only one I could get my hands on at the time was Super Paper Mario for my Nintendo Wii. That was 12 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. Does the game hold up as well as it did in my mind? Not exactly.
Who are you talking to?
This game is super strange, but in a very charming way. Ryota Kawada, the chief director of Intelligent Systems at the time, was playing the Bowser minigame from the 1,000-Year Door one day, and he realized, "This is exactly what my series needs." Kawada was riding on a train thinking about ways to innovate this concept when he looked down the train and thought to himself, why not take a 2D game and mix in 3D elements? Because much like everyone else, the first thing I think in Celeste is, yeah, this needs more 3D. The studio loved the idea, but wanted to make sure that the Paper Mario series stayed an RPG. Yeah, Nintendo wanted to keep the RPG roots. Nintendo must have felt that this would have made the game more accessible to the masses, and did it pan out? The game sold well worldwide, and was received very well by critics, but playing it 12 years after its release, you can see why it's not held in the same esteem as the previous two games. Time for this story summary, and spoilers are ahead in this wacky tale. So we're gonna need these. We open with a Toad informing our hero and his superior brother that Princess Peach has yet again been kidnapped. Assuming it is the normal suspect, Mario and Luigi rudely break into Bowser's castle. Before a showdown can commence, however, it is revealed that Peach was actually kidnapped by the sinister Count Bleck, our antagonist of the game. Count Bleck transports Peach, Bowser, and Luigi to a wedding for Peach and Bowser. The Count controls a powerful book called the Dark Prognosticus, and it says that when a being of pure evil and a being of pure good are married, it will summon the Chaos Heart. Count Bleck uses the Chaos Heart to summon a black hole known as the Void to consume the entire universe. Peach, Bowser, and Luigi are all captured, but Mario is saved by a pixel creature named Tippy. Tippy transports Mario to the town of Flipside and is introduced to Merlin. Merlin explains that Mario is the hero that is described in the Light Prognosticus, which is the counter to the Dark Prognosticus. This tome explains that Mario must team up with 3 other heroes to collect 8 pure hearts in order to destroy the Chaos Heart and reverse the Void. With their knowledge of the Light Prognosticus, Mario and Tippy journey across many worlds while teaming up with Peach, Bowser, and Luigi in their search for the pure hearts. While on their search, they face many adversity from Count Bleck and his minions, those being Ochunks, Mimi, Dimentio, and this mysterious Mr. L that we never learn much about. Throughout the adventure, there are several flashbacks that explain a Romeo and Juliet story of 2 lovers named Timpani and Blumiere. These 2 are from separate tribes, but madly in love, and when Blumiere's father ended the relationship by banishing Timpani to random dimensions for eternity, Blumiere dons the title of Count Bleck and vows to destroy the universe. These flashbacks are revealed to be from Tippy, as Merlin found her near death years ago and saved her by transforming her into a pixel. Tippy has these flashbacks periodically because in the transformation process her memory had to be wiped. Tippy begins to put the pieces together as our heroes, with a little bit of skill and a lot of luck on their side, collect the 8 pure hearts and head to take the fight to Count Bleck. The party confronts Count Bleck and exhausted the pure hearts in order to defeat him, but Dimentio swoops in the last second to take the spotlight as the villain. A big portion of that luck I mentioned earlier is because Dimentio had been assisting the heroes from behind the scenes throughout the journey, and always intended to betray Count Bleck so he could take control of the Chaos Heart and recreate the universe in his own image. He fuses with Luigi and the Chaos Heart, and would have defeated Mario if it had not been for Tippy and Count Bleck's reunited love. This love restores the power of the pure hearts and gives Mario the power to defeat Dimentio and save his brother. Tippy and the Count use this renewed love to destroy the Chaos Heart and close the void, vanishing in the process. And with the universe saved, everyone can't help but wonder if our two lovers survived.
What the f*** is that story?
It's a bit much, and that's the super simplified version of it, but it carries its weight, I promise. The story is what most people think when discussing Super Paper Mario. The characters grow deeper and deeper with each hour that you play the game, and it's quite charming. There's an old saying that says that a story is only as good as its villain, and that statement stands true here. Count Bleck is the most compelling villain in a Paper Mario game to date, and his relationship with Tippy is a tearjerker. Each baddie from O'Chunks to Natasha, Count Bleck's assistant, are fully fleshed out because the writing continues to evolve from the previous game, and it is a delight. The writers worked overtime with this game, and it shows in each world that you discover. Throughout their adventure, Mario and his friends must travel to 8 worlds to collect the 8 pure hearts. And of course, once again, you have to start in a grass world where you fight a dragon. However, much like the Thousand-Year Door, once you get past the first world, the game takes a crazy turn. You go to literal hell and back, an 8-bit world, and even one world you have to fight 100 samurais to get a pure heart, but their world collapses in the middle of the contest, and nothing is left except an endless void. You can come back to this world in the post-game, however, and fight all the samurai if you so chose. But do I look like a completionist?
So you're telling me you've never combed through the details? Shocker.
One issue that I had with the Thousand-Year Door was that not all the worlds landed for me.
Why the f*** you talk about salvation that way? Live it, love it, learn it!
But here, I had no issue with the aesthetics of the world or their mechanics, but the pacing is still very bad like in the last game. They focus on fixing the backtracking issues in the last game, but in getting rid of them, they broke each chapter into 4 segments and it feels very disjointed. It breaks the immersion for me when each time I finish an area, I get a summary of what I just played 20 minutes ago. The only thing that kept me pushing forward in these disjointed times was the boss fights. I always look forward to the boss fights in every world as all of them were super fun and engaging. Francis is and always will be the most iconic boss fight from this game, as a dating sim with Peach precedes his actual fight. This is just as funny today as it was back in 2008, although some of these jokes may hit a little too close to home for some of us out there. Some boss fights are just as strange as its premise. Dimentio teleports you into a pocket dimension, and Mimi turns into that, and in space you fight a giant head of Mr. L while riding on the back of a small bubbly creature named Squirps that shoots lasers. These are always fun and crazy because most of them either give you a new gameplay mechanic or utilize the main gameplay mechanic in interesting ways. And here is where the controversy begins. Super Paper Mario takes the pocket dimension battling from the last 2 games and just chucks it out the door. Now it's a platformer that has RPG elements infused in it. I'm guessing that it being a classic Mario platformer constituted the idea from the marketing department. F it, just call it Super Paper Mario. You move and jump like a classic Mario game, and you gain experience points by killing enemies. When you get enough experience points, you level up and get a boost in health and damage. You don't get to decide these stats, so it feels pointless. I never once while playing felt like my leveling up assisted me in my progression. So if the RPG elements are almost as bare as sticker stars, is the platforming fun? The platforming is very basic and doesn't leave much room open for discovering your own way to play the game. This is a shame because with the incorporation of Peach, Bowser, Luigi, and companions, there could have been endless possibilities for gameplay. Peach can glide across pits, Bowser can breathe fire and hits the hardest out of the team, and Luigi can spring jump, which is something Mario could do in the previous game, well, what do I know about that? These are used for 1 or 2 puzzles, and then you might as well just stick with Mario because he's the only one that has the main mechanic of the game. Remember when I said that Kawada wanted to mix 3D gameplay into a 2D environment? Well, let's talk about that. Mario can swap between 2D and 3D to create some potentially good gameplay mechanics. It's not executed very well. This doesn't do much for me. The idea is cool, but the execution gives the vibe that it was just phoned in. Most of the time, if I couldn't find the immediate answer while I was in 2D, I just had to flip into 3D and boom, there it is. The game doesn't even want you to stay in 3D that much because you take damage if you're in the mode for too long. The first boss fight was able to use it in an interesting way, but that was the only one. This usually happens in games as the director gives his input to the development team and then immediately pisses off after that. Not even the last boss fight could find a way to use this mode, and it just screams to me that the dev team didn't care about the mechanic, but Kawada wanted it in the game anyways. Luckily, unlike Heroes, you can keep your new companions with you while you're in 3D. Mario's main companion is Tippy, as she stays with you the whole game, and you get 11 other pixel friends that give you special abilities.
And how are the companions?
I wasn't ready. God, I love the companions in the last games. I can't wait to see what they do with them in this one. What the fuck are these? So Paper Mario in the past game was always very clever about the betrayal of their companions. Here we get geometry. See, I failed geometry in high school, so I hate anything in relation to it.
I hate you.
Besides Tippy, these companions don't even talk during story moments. These guys are super basic one-dimensional characters and are such a step down from the previous sets of companions we got. Tippy carries all the pixels when it comes to personality. She is the main focus of the game, so this is more understandable, but unfortunately this paves the way for one of the biggest problems for the series to come. But we'll get to those two sins another day. Tippy gives you the ability to use the Wii Remote's pointer and tells you about your environment. The other 11 pixels give you abilities that you will only use for one time for a certain puzzle and then never touch them again besides Carry, because he lets you move faster and makes you immune to spikes. I'm not even gonna bother going over each and every single one of them because you'll never use them. I can't help but feel like Intelligent System was getting tired of the Paper Mario series. I just don't feel the passion in this game as I did in the previous two. In the previous two there was wit, charm, cleverness, good gameplay, fun interactive moments, and half of that is here. The story definitely cares. It's just everything else in the game just doesn't feel good. This gameplay just doesn't do it for me, and unfortunately, I had a lot of issues finishing this game because of it. Super Paper Mario reeks of the phoning it in syndrome. That being said, it has all the wit and charm that makes it a Paper Mario game. If story is what drives you, you're definitely gonna like this game. But if gameplay is more your style, I would look elsewhere. I personally didn't have the worst experience with it, but there's a reason I haven't touched it in 12 years.
I can't take it anymore. You just shut up about your stupid Nintendo games, I'll give you your money back.
Can you take back all the paper that I bought too?
Whatever you want, just get out of my house.
I knew that would work.